Hello YouTube and welcome to another video on the channel. My name is Lobo5433 and today I have for you my Magicka Templar build for ESO Elder Scrolls Online The Waking Flame patch. And let's go ahead and get into the gears. First of all, we got Hrothgar's Lightning Staff, which is one of the newer sets that dropped this patch. The enchantment we have on it is a increased weapon and spell damage enchant. It's also called a Berserker enchantment. The trait we are using is Sharpened. And for this set, I'm going to scroll down slowly so you can see more or less what it does. Basically, gives you health, armor, offensive penetration, and then stunning or immobilizing our enemy causes them to burst with frost magic, applying shield status effect and dealing 26% of their total physical and spell resistance as frost damage to themselves and enemies within 8 meters of them. And it can happen once every 7 seconds. This set hits really hard. It performs really well right now. I like it a lot because there's a lot of tanky PvPers and this thing just annihilates them. Like Hrothgar it's really good. And then on the back bar we're using another newer set. It's Dark Convergence. With Escapist Poisons on the back, you could feel free to use any poisons that you want. I just had these extra laying around so I just threw them on. But they work really well still. Trait we have for this one-handed is nerfed. It doesn't have to be an axe. It could be any trait, or not any trait, any type, like a dagger, mace, anything one-handed. Just make sure it's nerfed. And what this set does is casting an ability that leaves an effect on the ground, creates a snare, 60% snare, and pulls enemies every 2 seconds after a 1 second delay, and stuns them for 1 second. After 4 seconds, the area deals, I'm going to say X amount of magic damage to all enemies and X amount of magic damage to enemies within 3 meters of the center, increasing the damage by 10% for each target. And this effect can occur once every 15 seconds and it scales off the higher of your weapon or spell damage. And it's really cool in a Magplar too, because all you got to do is just throw down your rune and it'll proc the set. But you got to be careful because you want to kind of drop it with your ulti, but when you don't have your ulti, it's really nice to be able to utilize the set like that to get people off of you and stuff like that. And then for the helmet, we're using Balorg. We're going to use both pieces of the monster set on this build because we're able to, because we have a front bar, back bar. And Balorg, when we use an ultimate ability, gain weapon and spell damage equal to the amount of the ultimate consumed, and physical and spell penetration equal to 23 times the amount for 12 seconds. So this is just added value to our destruction. And then we got Hrothgar's Curious. Everything's impen on this build. Impenetrable. I believe the big, well, quote-unquote big pieces would be head, chest, and legs are all Haikeijo, which are tri-stat enchants. You see max mag, health, and stam on these pieces. And then on the littler pieces would be the shoulders, waist, hands, and feet. You're going to have just regular max mag glyphs. And the way I set this up here, to min-max it technically for this patch, because this patch on most builds, you want 2 medium, 2 light, and 3 heavy. So I have the strongest piece of our armor is our chest, so we're going to put the Curious heavy. So that's why we got a Hrothgar's Curious, and then legs and feet are the same value in armor, so we put those as heavy, and then hands and waist are the weakest, so we put those in light, and then shoulders and head medium. And then for our gloves, we actually have gloves of the trainee just because we have an extra slot in this build. So we throw trainee on just for extra help. Jewelry is all infused. Magicka cost reduction. Rings of Dark Convergence, 1, and then an amulet. And then we got Malakat's Band of Brutality. And like I said, they all have reduced Magicka cost. I use these just so it makes it easier to sustain. You could put an extra damage glyph if you want, But I like my mist, vampire mist, costing me as cheap as it can, so I do that. Because when we go into mist with the rune down, we gain mag. You'll see my mag's not going down at all. Yeah, good perma mist. It's my favorite. And let's go ahead and jump into the skills. I think I went over all the gear. Yeah. Well, let's do a character sheet real quick. We can see we got 32k mag on the back bar, 28k health, 19k stamina, 1000 mag recurring, and 3200 spell damage. And then our resistances are 2925 on the back bar and 2723.5 on the front bar. Our penetration is decent, as you can see. It's almost 9,000. There's no crit because we have Malcath on. And we got Breton. We use the Atronach Mundus Stone for sustain. Bewitched Sugar Skulls is our food. Tri-Stat Pots is what I use mostly, and Detect Pots to get rid of Night Blades. And then we are also supposed to be stage 3, but that just went down. I'll have to get that up again, but I'm usually stage 3 on this guy, just for the Undeath passive. Let's go ahead and jump to the skills on the front bar. Got Degeneration from the Mages Guild tree. Degeneration. You don't, like, as you can see, I don't have my Mages Guild maxed out on this guy. You really don't need him maxed out. You just want the buff from Degeneration. You just need Major Sorcery. Like, that extra time and all that. Like, the reduced cost would help, but it's already so cheap, honestly. It could be a little bit cheaper. It could get to stage 5. I should, honestly, but I'll, in due time. But, just more for the buff. And then we got Solar Barrage. It's a Dawn's Wrath ability. This one. You want that morph, Solar Barrage morph. And then Elemental Drain, that's a Destruction Staff ability. It's just gonna apply Major Breach to the target, which reduces their physical and spell resistance by almost 6,000, so it's pretty good. And it also gives us Minor Magicka still, so we can get a little bit more sustain that way when we're offensive. And then, of course, we got Puncturing Sweeps, jabs. With some Templar without jabs, am I right? And then we got Toppling Charge to proc our Rothgar, because anytime you stun them, it's going to proc that Rothgar. And then for the front bar ultimate, it's really my defensive ultimate in a sense, because I don't use this a lot unless I'm low on health or getting zerged. But that's on our front bar. And on the back bar, we got Honor the Dead, which is a restoring light ability. And then Elusive Mist, this is a vampire ability. When you go into Mist, you reduce the damage you take by 75%. And you get Major Expedition, so that's how we're able to tank a lot of the damage that's coming at us. Living Dark. This is going to be a kind of a heal over time for us. Anytime that an enemy hits us with a direct damage attack, which could be a light attack, a spammable, anything that's direct damage, like it's mostly like spammables and light attacks, and maybe like a blast bones, like anything that's hitting you directly, basically, you're gonna heal. It says 2,194 health, and that effect can occur once every half second. So it basically every second they hit you, or if you're getting hit by multiple people, it can occur like you're getting like a 4,000 heal in a second, and that is scaled off your spell damage or health. And then we got Extended Ritual. This is a heal over time, another one, and also a Purify. This move also procs that Dark Conversion set. So, like I said before, be wary of when you use these skills, because they will proc the set. Say I used it already and now it's not going to use it, so that's when I like reapply my buff if I have to, and then I will know the cooldown of it, because I want to optimally get them caught in that dark convergence with our solar prison ultimate, because that procs the set as well. And when they get caught up in that solar prison, if you have a buddy with you, they can activate the synergy and they're definitely dead, because look at that tooltip on that synergy, 22,000 magic damage to all enemies in the area. Yeah. And then I don't think I went over this, but this is our channeled focus, our rune. And this rune gives us major resolve for 25 seconds, increasing our physical and spell resistance by almost 6k. And you also recover 242 mag every 1 second over the duration. So that's why I was saying when we go mist, with the rune down, we gain magic, because our mist only costs 100 on this build. 111. And this gives us 242 magic back every second. So yes, that's that. And let's go into the champion points. These, I believe, are... yeah, I just fixed them. So, first of all, we gotta put all these passives in this first middle one right here. Right in the chest. Go in there. You want to fill up these passives as much as you can. And it's not a lot, but 2% is 2%. You know, like, this one's good for PvE, like, well, for... Imperial City, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, Imperial City, like, or even guards. That's 10% damage reduction. And then, for your slottables, to put up in the top up there, you want resilience. That grants you critical resistance. And you also want to slot this in one right here. This one's new. It's called Ironclad. It reduces your damage taken by direct attacks by 2% per stage. You want that one slotted. And then, we go this way, or this way. You just want, these are all passives right here. Passive. This one's a passive. Everything yellow is passive. This is also a passive, but it's purple. But you have to go into it to see. Then we're gonna go this way. These are all passives. This build, you do not need to go to on the right here. I just did this because I wanted to. There's not really a lot that you're gonna get value out of your sets with that CP, so just go this way. Because the left side's gonna buff magic damage, and then we're doing Biting Aura to increase damage done in the area of effect attacks. And then Master at Arms, you want those both slotted for your champion points. And then we're gonna go this way. That I swap it on and off. I don't know. I put speed on for now, man, to see how I like not having the extra health. So we'll see how that is, but oops. We do have Fortified on. That gives us armor. And that's a slottable up there. And then for passives, you want to put this in and go this way. Make sure these are in. And then this is a passive as well. You want to fill this one up. And Relentlessness is a slottable. Being stunned or feared causes you to gain major protection for 3 seconds, reducing your damage taken by 10%. So we got this on our slottables, just for extra tankiness when we get CC'd. And then I also use as a slottable Survival Instincts, which, while we're afflicted with the status effect, our core combat skills cost 25% less when you get it all the way up. That's blocking, dodging, running, anything like, like just combat skills, no like no abilities like from your tool, like your toolbar, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And then we also have this right here, Hasty, for our passive. And then go down here for another slottable at the top. We got Celerity. This increases our movement speed by 10%. And I like using this because there's no like way I could really run fast on this build technically, because we don't have Race Against Time or a Source of Major Expedition outside of Mist. So I'm gonna go here real quick. I'll show you. Technically, if we have that champion point slotted, we're faster in Mist, and that helps a lot with kiting if you're faster in Mist. It's like a baby Wild Hunt, so it's pretty good. And Wild Hunt's a mythic. Another mythic increases your movement speed by like 15%. So that passive in itself is almost a whole mythic. So I think it's pretty worth it. And then I'm pretty sure that's all the slottables. That was 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then all these yellow ones, passives. Passive, passive, passive. And then the 6 in here are passive. I'm gonna put this up real quick. And I believe that's it for the CP. I believe I mentioned it earlier, but I just used tripods and immovability pots. I'm pretty sure that's all for the build. Alrighty guys, and I believe that's all that we have here for today, but coming up here, a couple of clips that I have from Battleground and I was in Cyrodiil too. If you do happen to enjoy it, please leave a like and subscribe. And as always, I'm Loba5433, and you guys take care.
To oblivion with them!